श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जो की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोरक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपनु गौरिय गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारदा गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम अक्षय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट विराट गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्यामा कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाय। श्री रास-पाñcādhyayī की जाय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All right, let's begin. Okay. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सार्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृदन्तस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वं नायमां चरणान्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, Madhavi Didi, Dandavat Pranam, Indira Mataji, Gargarajji, Jashji, Yashoda Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, and everybody else, Dandavat Pranams. So, we are now, one second. Okay, so we're going to be finishing this chapter 20, this second chapter of Rāsa-pañcādhyayī today. And I thought we don't have that much more left to read of the chapter, so I thought we could recap all the verses. Well, I'll read through all the verses that we went through from the last chapter and this chapter, and then we can finish off with the commentaries. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so the benevolent Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, adapted his mood and activities to please the gopis. Yet he remained infallible, fixed in his eternal blissful nature, which is full of knowledge. He laughed openly, showing the brilliance of his kunda flower-like teeth. The gopis' lotus faces blossomed with joy upon seeing his loving glances. Standing in their midst, he appeared like a radiant full moon surrounded by the stars. The Vraj Gopis started singing sweetly about the attributes, beauty, and pastimes of their beloved Sri Krishna, who reciprocated by loudly singing songs glorifying their love and beauty. That supreme hero, bedecked with a Vaijanti Mala, led hundreds and hundreds of groups of gopis and started roaming about Vrindavan, thus enhancing its grandeur. Bhagavan Sri Krishna arrived with the gopis at the sacred bank of the Yamuna, where the sand was shining like camphor and was cool from the waves of the river. The whole area was bathed in the light of the full moon and was fragrant with the scent of night-blooming lotuses. There, on that blissful river bank, Bhagavan initiated his amorous play with the cowherd maidens, who are his internal potency. Bhagavan Shri Krishna threw his arms around the Vrajasundaris and embraced them, pressed their palms, touched their braids, thighs, waists, and breasts, joked with them, playfully scratched them with his fingernails, delightfully glanced at them, and laughed with them. In this way, he aroused their transcendental lust, the supremely glorious erotic prem, and gave them pleasure by sporting with them. Being so highly honored by Sri Krishna, the Supreme Lord and Supreme Lover, the gopis became proud, and each one considered herself the finest woman in the world. Sri Keshav observed that these Vraj-Ramanis were overly proud due to their good fortune and were now exhibiting man also. In order to quell their pride and satisfy them by dispelling their indignation, he suddenly disappeared from their assembly. And then the next chapter, Shri Shukadev Goswami said, "O Parikshit, Bhagavan Shri Krishna suddenly disappeared. When the Vraj Sundaris did not see him, it became like a herd of female elephants who have lost their mate. And the gopis' hearts, the fire of separation burst into flames. Those gopis' hearts had already been completely attracted by Rāma-pati Krishna, by his way of walking like an intoxicated elephant, by his very sweet smiles radiating prema, by his playful glances, by his charming love chatter, and by his many other inviting gestures and stratagems. Those Vrajdevis, overwhelmed in prema, became completely one with Krishna. They became completely one with Krishna, the husband of the goddess of fortune, and they began acting like him. In this way, Krishna's beloved Vraj Sundaris, the lovely damsels of Vraj, became like him, copying all his mannerisms, his carefree way of walking, his sweet, laughing smile, his infatuating glances, and his ambrosial words. The moods underlying all of Krishna's inviting gestures infiltrated the gopis' bodies, and they became maddened. Remembering his amorous pastimes, they took on his nature, and as they mimicked his amorous activities, they avowed, "I am Krishna." When those gopis' absorption in Sri Krishna subsided a bit, their mood also changed. Altogether, they loudly sang about Sri Krishna's qualities and became intoxicated. In this mood, they started searching for their beloved, going from one forest to another, looking in every dense thicket. O Parikshit, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, like the sky, is everywhere, pervading inside and outside all the inert and conscious objects. He was not far away from them, but the gopis, not seeing him in their midst, asked the trees and creepers where he was. The Vraj Devis first went to the very large trees and asked, "Hey Ashwata, sacred berry tree. Hey Plaksha, holy fig tree. Hey Nyagrodha, banyan tree. Nandanandan Sham Sundar has stolen our minds with his lovely filled smiles and glances, and has absconded with them. Have you seen him?" Hey Kurabaka tree, O Ashoka, O Naga Keshara, O Pun Naga, O Champa, that younger brother of Balaram, Sri Krishna Chandra, who mitigates the impertinence of all haughty women with just his sweet, gentle smile. Has he passed this way? When the male trees did not reply, the gopis inquired from the female bushes. "Oh, sister Tulsi, your heart is so soft, and you desire everyone's welfare. You have so much prema for the lotus feet of Govinda, and he also loves you so much. Therefore, he always wears your garland surrounded by bumblebees over his heart. Have you seen our beloved Sham Sundar, who never fails to display his loving nature?" Now the Rajramanis are asking the fragrant jasmine creepers and bushes. "Hey Malati, hey Malika, Chameli, Jati and Juhi, did our beloved Madhav pass by here and elate you by picking your fragrant flowers and touching you with his soft hands?" Now the Vrajdevis ask the fruit trees. "Hey Rasala, Priyala, Kartahala," the jackfruit, Pitashala, Kanchanara, Jambu, the rose apple, Arka, Bel, Molasiri, Amra, mango, Kadamba, Nipa, and other exalted trees on the Yamuna's bank. All of you live just for the welfare of others. Our lives are empty without Sri Krishna, so please tell us where he is." Hari Bol Gopal, I'm just in the middle of doing a Srimad Bhagavatam reading. Can I call you like in 40 minutes?
Yeah, of course. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Hari Bol. Sorry about that. That was important. He's leaving Navadip to come over to Vrindavan, so I needed. Okay. Okay, so when all of those trees and plants didn't respond, then they went to the earth. "Oh, beloved of Bhagavan, Prithvi Devi, earth goddess, what sort of austerities have you performed that you attained the touch of Sri Krishna's lotus feet and thus became so blissful that you began horripilating in the form of the grasses sprouting up, making you look very beautiful. Are you feeling this bliss from Sri Keshav touching you now with his lotus feet? Or maybe it arose earlier when Vamandev became Trivikram and stepped on you. Or did you feel it much earlier when Varahadev embraced you and thereby protected you? O does, O dear friends, has Achyuta, who's eternally fixed in his loving nature, passed this way with his sweetheart, giving your eyes the supreme bliss of the sight of the heart capturing and beautiful sweetness of his body? We feel that he must have taken this path because we are picking up the scent of the enchanting fragrance of his kunda garland, which swings over his heart and which is now smeared with the kumkum from the breast of his beloved. O trees, it seems that Balaram's younger brother, our beloved Shamsundar, has walked by here, followed by bees intoxicated from the fragrance of the Tulasi Manjaris, holding a lila kamal in his right hand and resting his left hand on the shoulder of his beloved. It seems you have bowed down to offer respects to him. Has he acknowledged your obeisances with his loving glance? O Sakis, we should ask these creepers who are embracing the arms, the branches of their husband, this tree. They are bristling in rapture. Certainly, this is due to the touch of Krishna's fingernails. Ah, how fortunate they are. Hey, Parikshit, after these maddened gopis spoke incoherently while searching everywhere for Bhagavan Sri Krishna, they felt distressed and helpless due to the pain of separation. Their identification with the heart of Krishna became so intensified that they saw themselves as him and started acting out his pastimes. One of the gopis became Putana, and another became Krishna and started sucking her breast. Some gopi became Shakota, the cart, and another became baby Krishna and kicked it over. One cowherd maiden became Trinavarta and displayed the bhav of carrying away another cowherd girl, who thought that she had become baby Krishna. Yet another gopi, hearing the sweet sound of her own ankle bells and thinking the sound was coming from Krishna's ankle bells, started to drag her feet on the earth, and in this way enacted Krishna's sweet crawling pastimes. Two gopis played Krishna and Ram. Two gopis played Krishna and Ram, who were surrounded by many other gopis, acting like cowherd boys and calves. One gopi became Vatsasura, while another became Sri Krishna, who killed that demon. Similarly, one gopi became Bakasura, and another one played Sri Krishna, who exhibited the bhav of tearing the demon apart. Sri Krishna used to call the cows and calves who drifted far away in the forest by playing his flute. In the same way, one gopi thought herself to be Krishna, and while playing the flute, exhibited the bhav of calling the cows who had wandered off in the forest. Other gopis praised her, exclaiming, "Well done, well done! Sadhu, sadhu!" One gopi, absorbed in Sri Krishna Chandra, put her arm on the shoulder of another gopi and started walking about, telling the other gopis, "Oh Sakas, oh friends, I am Krishna. Just see the charming way I walk." One gopi became Sri Krishna and said, "O Brajvasis, do not be afraid of this torrential rain. I have made all arrangements for your protection." Speaking thus, the gopi imitated the lifting of Govardhan by stretching out her veil over her head. O Parikshit, one gopi imitated the serpent Kaliya, and another, copying Sri Krishna, climbed on her head and kicking her said, "O wicked serpent, go away from here. I have taken birth to punish envious persons like you." One gopi became Sri Krishna and spoke to the other gopis who were imitating the gopas, who were scared of the forest fire. Oh, cowherd folks! Look! A fierce fire is burning in the forest. All of you, quickly close your eyes. I will easily protect you. One gopi accepted the mood of Rajeshwari Sri Yashoda externally, and one slender gopi became immersed in the bhav of Sri Krishna. The gopi playing Yashoda tied up the gopi playing Krishna with a flower garland, exactly as he had been tied to the grinding mortar. The Vraj Sundari playing Krishna started enacting his behavior of crying in fright, exhibiting fear, and with tears coming down from her beautiful eyes. This gopi covered her face with her hands, just as Krishna had done. O Parikshit, while performing the pastimes and again inquiring from the trees and creepers of Vrindavan, the Vraj Devis arrived at a place in the forest where they noticed the footprints of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the Supersoul. After seeing the footprints, the gopi said, "These footprints certainly belong to the crest jewel of benevolent persons, Nanda Nandan Sri Shyam Sundar, because the marks of the flag, lotus, thunderbolts, elephant goad, and barleycorn are clearly visible." The Vraj Sundaris continued searching for their beloved Sri Krishna following his footprints, and noticing one young bride's footprints intermingled with his, they became very disturbed and talked among themselves. Oh, which fortunate Vraj Sundari's footprints are these? Just as a she-elephant walks with the king of elephants, she is strolling along with Nanda Nandan Shyam Sundar, resting her arm on his shoulder. This fortunate Ramani has certainly worshipped Bhagavan Sri Hari perfectly and has fully satisfied him. Otherwise, why has our Prana Priyatama, Sri Govinda, who is the love of our life, abandoned all of us and taken only her to a secluded grove, a secluded place? Sorry. Some Brajasundari said, "O beloved Sakis, the dust that Govinda touches with his lotus feet becomes blissful and attains all fortune. Even Brahma, Shiva, and Rama Devi take this dust on their heads to remove their sufferings and all injustice." Some other gopis said, "O Saki, what you say is all right, but we are observing the raised footprints of some gopi that are creating a great commotion in our hearts. This is because the Saki who has taken Sri Krishna to a secluded place has snatched the nectar of his lips from us, which is the essence of all that we possess, and is drinking it all by herself. O Sakis, look, that gopi's footprints are not seen over here. It seems that our dearmost Shyam Sundar must have realized the sharp grass is pricking the tender souls of my beloved, so he must have surely lifted her up on his shoulder." As all the gopis moved ahead, one of them said, "O Sakis, look! Here Krishna's footprints are sunk deeper in the sand. Certainly that lusty fellow has lifted his beloved on his shoulder, and with her weight, his feet have left a deeper impression." "O Sakis, look, look! That expert lover Shyam Sundar put his beloved down in this place, and standing on his tiptoes, gathered flowers to decorate her. We can see from the footprints that only the front part of his feet have left an impression in the ground, and the heels are nowhere to be seen. Look! Certainly, this expert lover Krishna sat down here and decorated his beloved's hair, just like an impassioned man, and for sure, sitting here, he wove the flowers that he picked with his own hands into his sweetheart's braid." O Parikshit, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, self-satisfied and infallible, is himself the source of his own pleasure. Thus, he cannot be attracted by the beauty of feminine charms and alluring damsels. Yet, to reveal the pathetic condition of lusty men under the control of ladies and crafty women, Sri Krishna engaged in love play with the Gopis. The Gopis, having lost their presence of mind, wandered from one forest to another. They were showing each other the footprints of Sri Krishna and his beloved. That fortunate Gopi whom he took to his secluded place, leaving behind all the other cowherd maidens, proudly felt, I am the most favored. He has rejected all the others who also love him dearly. I am the special recipient of his honor and veneration. Developing pride in this way, that special Gopi wandered in the forest with her lover and became intoxicated by her love and good fortune. She asked Krishna, who controls even Brahma and Shiva, O my beloved, I cannot walk any further. My tender feet are tired, so you can carry me on your shoulder wherever you like. Hearing his beloved's words, Sri Shyamasundar said, O dear one, just climb on my shoulder. But as soon as she tried to do this, he disappeared, upon which this special Gopi started weeping bitterly. Okay, so now we come to verse 40. He nata ramana preshta kvasi kvasi mahabhuja dasyaste kripanaya me sakhe darshaya sanidhim sakhe darshaya sanidhim. O possessor of my life, O lover, O my dearest one, where are you? Where are you? Where are you, O mighty armed one? O my friend, I am your most fallen maidservant. Quickly come to me and give me your darshan. Śrīla Samipad Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. This verse, starting with Ha Nata, describes Sri Radhika's lamentation. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. Sri Radhika's lamentation is described in this verse, starting with Ha Nat. The word Ha is a cry of pain, expressing great sorrow. It is uttered with each salutation. Nat means master who maintains me. Ramana, gift me with amorous pleasure. Preshta, the one who loves me in the most suitable way and whose prem for me is always expanding. Kwasi, where are you? You have so much love for me, so why have you left me all alone and gone into hiding? Alas, because I do not know where you are, my heart is greatly troubled. Kvasi is repeated twice due to extreme perplexity. She remembered the exceptional good fortune she enjoyed when embraced by Krishna. She also recalled the special beauty of all of his limbs, which stimulated her prem ras. Treasuring these recollections, she became enchanted and called out, Hey Mahabhuja, O mighty armed one. Oops. One second, I need to move over to the other thing. One second. Sorry, guys. Just need to close this. Okay. O mighty armed one, and in utter humility, she cried, Dasya, please bring this maidservant to you. One second, I need to close this and open it again. There. Okay. Krishna might ask, "Are you searching for me to get my embrace again?" Anticipating this question, she said, "No, no. Oh, my friends, where are you? You yourself enfolded me in your arms. You yourself enfolded me in your arms earlier, and thus created my present sorrow. But I don't even want your embrace now. Just tell me your whereabouts, and I will be pacified simply by knowing that." The word dasya means, "I am your maidservant, unqualified to be your saki. But only when you favored me, the permission to receive your affection was thrust upon me. It is you who has mercifully implanted in my heart the desire to give you pleasure. By the power of mercy, I want to serve you exclusively in a way that is most favorable for your delight. Kripanaya. I am unable to tolerate this misery in the absence of your service. Therefore, I am highly distressed. This is the reason I cannot endure separation from you, and I am unable to drive this pain out of my heart. So please do not neglect me. I beg you not to sow the seed of sorrow." This verse is full of grief, which is steeped in humility or self-abnegation. Odarya Anubhav. Scholars define Odarya as humility in all possible situations. Interesting. After this, out of sheer exhaustion, Sri Radha had no energy to even lament anymore, and she fainted on the ground in intense separation. For this reason, in the next verse, Sri Shukadev has used the word mohita, meaning unconscious. Srila Viśvanātha Chakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. Sri Radhika's lamentation is described in this verse, starting with Ha Nath. Hey Nath, the address means, "I am being scorched in the blazing fire of separation from you. And my life air is leaving my body. I am trying my best to keep it with me, but am not able to stop it from leaving. You are the one and only master of my life airs, so quickly come and protect me. I am not requesting you to protect my life for my own selfish desire, but rather for your better interests. Ha Ramana, hey Ramana, you have abandoned all the Gopa Ramanis and brought only me to this remote place to relish amorous pleasure with you. But if I die in your absence, you will not be able to partake of this amorous delight, and you will lament in grief, remembering me." Krishna might reply, "If I am distressed, then what is it to you?" Apprehending this, she says, "Hey Prishta, you are my dearmost one. You are my sole lover. You and only you. So any distress you might feel multiplies a millionfold in my heart and gives me much more pain. To the tips of your toenails, I can sacrifice millions and millions of my lives. I cannot tolerate that you undergo any suffering, even after my demise. This is the reason you should mercifully give me your darshan and remove my suffering. Bring me close to you." Krishna again might say, "How should I be able to protect your life, which is escaping from your body?" She replies, "Hey Mahabhuja, you have mighty arms. Your two arms are like a sanjivani, a life-giving tonic, which can revive one from death. Simply by the touch of your arms, my body will be rejuvenated and cooled, and my life force, which is on the verge of slipping away, will come back and remain fixed in my body." Krishna might object, "If your condition becomes so extreme without me, then knowing that I am none other than the son of the respected king of Raj and also very tender, why did you order me, 'Take me wherever you want'? Why have you roused my anger in this way?" Radha's piteous answer reflects her great anxiety. "I am your fallen maidservant. I spoke like that because I was extremely tired from roaming in the forest, overcome by indolence and sleepiness after our amorous play. So please forgive this most fallen maidservant. I am unqualified by being your maidservant, yet very mercifully you have established this strong friendship between us. I spoke on the strength of this. That's why I am now saying, O friends, bring me close to you. In answer, Krishna might say, Hey Priye, O my dearest, I am pleased with you. Come to me. Her reply, O friends, I cannot come because I am blinded by the pain of remorse, so I am unable to see where you are. Thus, you have to bring me to you. Grieving an intense separation, she fell on the ground in a swoon. For this reason, the word mohita has been used in the next verse. One second. I just want to see. We're not on verse 43, are we? I don't no, I thought we stopped at that quasi quasi. No? I don't remember reading this before. Are you sure we read this all, Indira Mataji? Because I really have no memory of reading this. Avinchantyo bhagavato margam gopya vidurita tadrishu priya vishleshan mohitam dukitam sakim. O Parikshit, in the meantime, the gopis continued following Bhagavan's footprints on the path and reached there. Yeah, we didn't read. Raseshwari Mataji also said we haven't read this. O Parikshit, in the meantime, the gopis continued following Bhagavan's footprints on the path and reached there. From a short distance, they saw that their fortunate Saki had fallen unconscious, being extremely unhappy due to the excruciating pain of separation. Śrīla Swāmīpad's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. While searching for Sri Krishna, the gopis saw their Saki nearby. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmīpad's Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. Avidurata means not very far, because if they are too far away, then there is the possibility of not seeing her. However, illuminated by the rays of the full moon, the beautiful Radha was highly visible. While searching for Sri Krishna, the gopis saw their Saki lying on the ground in intense separation from her lover. Overwhelmed in agony, she had fainted, mohita, and now all the other gopis were sharing her grief. All of them were equally afflicted in separation from Sri Krishna. Yet Sri Radhika's pain of separation was acute, especially because Krishna had left her alone. Witnessing this, the other gopis dropped their envy and sympathized with her, as all of them were now suffering in the same condition. The word Saki has been used for this purpose. However, we should understand that Sri Radha's own friends have very special love for her as compared to the other gopis. Srila Viśvanātha Chakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. As they were searching for Krishna, from afar the gopis saw Radhika lying on the ground senseless, shining like an effulgent flash of lightning. Observing her miserable condition, even the Vipaksha Sakis felt affection for her. This is the nature of Ujjvala Ras, that he loves separation from her lover, envy and all the other lady loves dissolves, and affectionate feelings arise. Thus it is said that only in separation there is an external manifestation of affection for each other. So this separation is what brings all the gopis together. Taya katitam akarnya mana praptim chamadhavat avamanam chadoratmyad vismayam paramam yayu. When they came close to that gopi and with great effort brought her back to consciousness, she told them about all the honor and love she received from Madhav. She also confided in them. I mischievously disrespected him, so he vanished. The gopis were extremely astonished to hear her words. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Pad's Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. After this, the Sakis came close to Radha, and, in a mood of friendship, they tried to soothe her and bring her back to consciousness. Then they asked her why she was weeping and had fainted. With moist eyes, Sri Radha replied, "How I got separated from all of you, I do not know. I was under some spell, and after going some distance, I regained my self-awareness. Then I realized that I was alone with Madhav, roaming from forest to forest. Oh, my friends, what more can I say about Madhav? Lakshmi Devi longs to enjoy with him. This Madhav, who is the possessor of the wealth of all good qualities, that same Madhav, out of his own will, offered me respect and made me extremely fortunate. After that, I became proud, and in an uncooperative mood, I dealt with him in a cunning way." The Gopis became extremely astonished to hear how, in the end, Madhav disappeared and abandoned Radha. Here, the word Dauratmya, improper behavior, is used to express Radha's humility and not to point out any crookedness in her. In the real sense, the soul who has turned away from Sri Krishna is it's the soul who has turned away from Krishna that is actually Duratmya. His nature is wicked. But that Ramani, Sri Radha, was now far away from Krishna. The usage of Duratmya in this case is simply a matter of some distance rather than wickedness. Distancing ourselves from Krishna constitutes Duratma. Dur means far and Atma means soul, towards him. There were three causes of extreme astonishment. One, that Krishna disappeared with Radha from the assembly of the Gopis without anyone noticing. Instead of staying there with Radha, he whisked her away. The pastimes with her are extremely incomprehensible as compared to his dealings with other Gopis. On top of that, she became sulky. So that's the first astonishing thing. The second astonishing thing is that among millions of Gopis, no one received as much honor as Radha. And the third astonishing thing is that after giving so much respect, he insulted her by deserting her. Actually, it is not possible that he will act like that. It is for these three reasons that the Gopis were so astonished. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. Thereafter, the Sakis, crying loudly, tried to revive her by fanning her. When she returned to consciousness, they asked her, "O Saki, please tell us what happened." She answered, "O my friends, alas, how I got separated from you I do not know. I was bewildered and not in control of what I was doing. But I am distantly aware that I received great honor, and after that I was hugely insulted. The reason for both is my crookedness. He neglected and insulted millions and millions of loving Ramanis like you, and set all of you ablaze in the fire of separation from him, while I alone received good fortune. This is his cheating behavior. Although I am insignificant, still I ordered that unscrupulous son of the king. I cannot walk any further. Carry me wherever you want. This is my audaciousness. How do you say that? Anyways. And for this, I have received such dishonor. My heart is aggrieved for these two reasons." Radha's sorrow expresses her resentment for her beloved Krishna, her courtesy towards the Gopis, and her own heartfelt humility. Therefore, Sri Shukadev has used the words Dauratmya to represent her feelings. Actually, the meaning of Dauratmya is the soul of that Ramani is distant from Krishna. Or Sri Krishna, the Atma of the Ramani Sri Radha, is far away from her. So she is in a state of separation, which is Duratma, Dauratmya. This Dauratma is understood as distance and is synonymous with separation from Krishna. So the actual definition of Dauratma is the misery incurred in separation from Krishna. After hearing this narration, the Sakis drowned in an ocean of astonishment and said, "My dear Saki, your good fortune is proper. There is no duplicitous behavior on the part of Krishna. You, like a Swadhin Bhatrika, you ordered your beloved due to being tired from amorous play. This is also not improper. All this happened to enhance the ras. However, the Anukul Nayak, the favorable hero, will not disobey his mistress. To throw her into such a state of misery is against ras, and his conduct was improper. Alas, how astonishing it is that Sri Krishna, who is the crest jewel of all the topmost rasiks, the greatest lover and ocean of mercy, behaved in this manner. That he insulted his mistress by abandoning her was a matter of great surprise for the Sakis. One second, I'm just going to look at the comments. Yeah, Indira Mataji, I don't know. We definitely didn't read this. I don't know how you got that. Hari Bol, Prajumna Prabhu, Yashji, Mantramurti Mataji, and Champak Didi, and Ganga Mataji, and Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu. Hari Bol. Tato Vishanvanam Chandra Jyotsna Yavar Vibhavyate Tama Pravishtam Alakshya Tato Nivavritu Striya. The Vraj Devis continued searching for Sri Krishna in the deep forest as far as the light of the moon could penetrate. Finding that the woods were too dense and dark to go further, they realized, if we keep searching here, then he will go into hiding in even a deeper part of the forest. Therefore, they turned back. Srila Śrīdhara Swamipad's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. After this, the Gopis entered the woods along with the Saki to search for Krishna. He must have gone to the dark, dense forest. Thinking in this way, they retraced their steps. Srila Jiva Gosvāmīpad's Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. After this, the Sakis pacified Radha, who was suffering in separation from Krishna, and restored her life. Now, with great impatience, they gathered together and again started searching for Krishna. This is a subject matter in this verse beginning with Tata. The Gopis entered the woods and continued looking for their sweetheart as far as they could see in the moonlight. But even after searching, they could not ascertain Krishna's movements from his footprints, as he had entered a very deep and dark part of the forest. This area was so dense that the moonlight could not penetrate. Thus the Gopis turned back. Sri Vishnu Puran tells us, Sri Krishna entered the thick forest where the moonbeams. He entered the deep, thick forest where the moonbeams could not penetrate, so his footprints were not visible. Thus the Gopis decided to go back. Here, Striya means it is infeasible for women to enter the dark forest. The Gopis deliberated. In order to avoid us, Krishna is sneaking into the dangerous, darker reaches of the forest. Thinking thus, they became extremely worried about his safety due to their tender feelings for him. They decided to stop pursuing him and retraced their steps. In place of Tata in this verse, Hare is sometimes seen, but the commentator Śrīdhara Swamipad does not accept this. In this verse, Tata, after this, has been used twice. To reconcile the repetition, the second Tata is explained as thereupon the Gopis stopped searching for Hari. Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. After this, the Sakis took Radha by the hand and picked her up. Collectively, they again started searching for Krishna. This is the meaning conveyed in this verse, starting with Tata. The Gopis searched for Krishna as long as the moonlight allowed, but due to big shade trees, the forest became so thick and dark that they gave up their search. Sri Vishnu Puran reports, Sri Krishna entered the thick forest where the moonbeams cannot penetrate, so his footprints are not visible. Thus you should return back. The Gopis returned because the forest was too dark. This reason is external. Actually, they were thinking, "O Sakis, drowning in the ocean of misery. Krishna is hiding his black body in this dark forest so that no one should see him. He is running away from He is running away from wherever we try to find him. Krishna's tender body must be sore and exhausted from roaming so much in the forest. Upon realizing this, the gopis also felt pain, so they went back. Tan manaskas taral alapas tar vichestas taratmika tar gunan evagayantyo natmagarani sangsmaru. O Parikshit, the gopis' minds were completely concentrated on Krishna. They were talking only about him, and with their bodies they were enacting his activities. Each particle of their bodies and souls was united with him. Singing out his pastimes and glories, they became so engrossed that they forgot their homes and bodies. Śrīla Swāmīpad's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. In this way, even after not finding Krishna, the gopis forgot their homes because they were completely tadatmic with him. Their souls became filled with his presence. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmīpad's Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. Thereafter, the Vraj stopped searching for Sri Hari and turned back. In this deep forest, the sharp grass and stones must be hurting Krishna's tender feet. Realizing this, the gopis drowned in deep distress. Tan manaskas. Their hearts were fully captured by Krishna, even though he was not with them, having entered this impenetrable forest. In other words, Krishna fully occupied their hearts, leaving no place for anything else. Tad alapa. They were conversing only about Krishna and how his feet were undergoing pain due to walking over rough ground full of sharp stones. This was their sole topic of discussion. Tad vicheshta. In great anxiety, they were roaming about the forest, intent on bringing Krishna out from there. All their activities were focused exclusively on him. Tad atmika. Their souls were dedicated to Krishna. The gopis were aggrieved by Krishna's disappearance, but they remembered only his virtues, especially his mercy and his all-enchanting power. They did not condemn him for forsaking them. Having completely forgotten themselves, they were simply singing his glories with the intent that Krishna should hear them. They were not even aware of themselves, what to speak of their homes. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. Divine madness in the Vraj Devis again manifested due to overwhelming absorption. After some time, it subsided, and they started talking about Sri Krishna. Once more, they inquired about him from the Ashvata, the banyan, and other trees. In the intermediate stage of their divine madness, they again imitated some of Krishna's pastimes, such as one gopi becoming Putana and breastfeeding him, and another becoming Krishna drinking her milk. In the mature stage of their madness, they became Tad Atmika. I am Krishna. Behold my charming movements. Imitating Krishna in this way, they became completely absorbed in those particular moods and they forgot their identities. At the same time, as they were accustomed to doing, they loudly sang his glories. And this is the last verse, so we're ending the chapter here. Short commentary. Puna pulinam agatya kalindya Krishna bhavana samaveta jago Krishnam tar agamanakankshitaha. Every pore of the gopis' bodies was anticipating Krishna's quick arrival. Totally immersed in him, they came to the sacred bank of the Yamuna, where they all started singing about the qualities and sweet pastimes of their beloved. Śrīla Swāmīpad's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. The gopis returned to the same spot on the Yamuna where they had met Krishna in the beginning. These gopis, anticipating his arrival, immersed in his emotions, began to sing his glories. End of the Bhāvārtha Dīpikā and Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 30. Srila Jīva Gosvāmī's Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. After this, they thought, if we search for Krishna in all directions in the forest, he will enter into a darker area, and his tender feet will be hurt by thorns, sharp grass, and pointed stones. So we should stop our search and go to the bank of the Yamuna. It is a completely open space where all of us can be together, and our loud calls will reach far and wide. We will start singing in a high pitch. A song full of humility and reproach. Hearing this, Krishna will become compassionate, and on his own, he will come to us. Thus, spurred by their love for Krishna, they returned to the bank of the Yamuna, and, immersed in their beloved, they started singing loudly about him. End of the Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī on Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 30. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura's Sārārtha Darśinī. Alas, alas! Wherever we will go to search for him, he will run away from there. So why should we give him the trouble of roaming in the forest? We cannot locate him without his assent. According to Shruti, Yame Vaishya Vrinute Tena Labhyas. Only those whom he chooses out of his mercy can have his darshan. The reason for his darshan is his mercy, and the mercy is attained through his Nam Sankirtan. Thinking thus, the Gopīs went back to the place where they had previously met him and started chanting his names in a loud voice. In this way, they established the philosophical conclusion that Krishna's mercy can only be attained by Nam Sankirtan. End of the Sārārtha Darśinī on Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 30. Thus ends the Bhavanuvad of the three commentaries, Bhāvārtha Dīpikā, Saṅkshepa Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī, and Sārārtha Darśinī on the 32nd chapter of the 10th canto of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So tomorrow we will begin the Gopi Gīt, the Gopi's song of separation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Guru Deva Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishmad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Srila Satchiravanda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Vaiṣṇava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Shara Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Srila Haridas Ṭhākura Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shiksheta Mandala, Gora Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Radha Kunna Shama Kun ki jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Rāsa-pañcādhyayī ki jai, Śrīdhara Swāmī Pad ki jai, Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Pad ki jai, Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura ki jai, Sarva Vraja Devi Gan ki jai, Raseshwari Shri Vrishabhanu Nandini, Srimati Radha Ṭhākurani ki jai, Shri Raseshwar Shri Rajendra Nandan Sham Sundar Shri Krishna Chandra ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nam Sankirtan ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So tomorrow we will begin reading the Gopīs Nam Sankirtan about Shri Krishna. Gopi Geet. Oh, and also tomorrow is the appearance day of Madhvacharya. So maybe I'll just read a little bit from Gopi Geet and then we'll continue reading. We'll read something about Madhvacharya. There's actually some special things that Srivas recently translated. So maybe we can read that. And then the day after that is Papankusha Akadashi. And then the day after that is the disappearance day of Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. And then 2 days after that is Param Gurudev's disappearance day and the first day of Kartik. That's 5 days away from now, Kartik. 4 days if you don't consider today. So yeah, a lot of special days coming up. All right, see you all tomorrow. Dandavat pranams. Let me just look at the comments really quick. All right, Dandavat pranams, everybody. Haribol. Okay, Prajamna Bru, did you message me on WhatsApp? I told you to message me on WhatsApp about that because I forget otherwise.